My name is Trademark Copyright. Representing my trust when they have.
Sir, you want to play a game with me? No, not today. Mr. Allen, take him. We'll bring him back out when he wants to cooperate.
All right, Mr. Baker, you're before the court today for your arraignment. And let's see. You're not. Have you hired an attorney?
No, sir.
Do you plan on hiring one?
No, sir.
Are you going to represent yourself, or do you wish to have the public defender to represent you?
No, sir. I'm representing myself.
All right, you're before the court today for your arraignment. You've been charged by way of an information with possession of a cocaine, possession of a controlled substance, but count 1 and 2. Those are both third-degree felonies, punishable to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. You have a count 3, which is fleeing or attempting to elude high-speed reckless. I believe that should be a second-degree felony, punishable to 15 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $10,000 fine. Count 4 is drive my license, cancel, suspend, or revoke third or subsequent offense. That's a third-degree felony, punishable to 5 years in the Florida Department of Corrections and a $5,000 fine. And count 5, possession of marijuana less than 20 grams, which is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. So you're looking at a total of about 30 years in the Florida Department of Corrections if you're convicted of everything and you get the maximum sentence. And you're still wishing to represent yourself?
Yes, sir.
Or if you'll raise your right hand to be sworn in.
You're about to give the truth, whole truth, and you got the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Baker, state your name.
Lee Baker.
And Mr. Baker, you have asked to represent yourself. Is that correct?
Yes.
How far did you get in school?
9th grade.
Okay. And so you can read and write?
Yes.
Okay. Are you employed?
No, sir.
All right. How do you make a living?
I'm unemployed right now. I was living with someone else.
Sir?
I'm unemployed. I was living with someone else. I just got out of jail about 5 months ago.
Okay. Well, what is your trade?
I have my own business,
All right. What kind of business?
a cleaning business.
Okay. And have you ever represented yourself before?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today, which would affect your ability to make this decision to represent yourself?
No.
Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness that would affect your ability
No, sir.
to make this decision?
No.
All right. You understand that attorneys are trained in the rules of evidence, criminal procedure, and the law, and they're there to assist you in preparing for pretrial motions, preparing for pretrial hearings, and to participate in discovery, and also preparing for trial.
I comprehend that very well.
All right, and sir, you understand that if you're representing yourself, you'll be held to that same standard.
I comprehend that.
All right, and I cannot assist you in any way. The state attorney would not be able to assist you in any way. Is that correct?
I comprehend.
All right, you still wish to represent yourself?
Yes.
All right, Madam Clerk, if you'll print out the information, and Deputy Dexter, it's okay if the clerk hands the information to Mr. Baker? All right, Madam Clerk, if you'll do that. Mr. Baker, when you receive that information, I'm going to ask that you enter a plea at this time.
I like to file 2 motions on the record as well, sir.
I want to do your arraignment first.
All right.
All right, whenever you're ready, you'll let me know and enter your plea.
I end up plea of not guilty.
Okay. All right, you're filing motions?
Yes, sir. I
You
got
have copies for the state?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I got a declaratory judgment, and I want to furnish this bond to the clerk
You file it, go ahead.
for my release from the Bay County Jail today.
Okay.
That's declaratory judgment. That's for the clerk only.
Now, you providing a copy of the state, everything you've given the clerk?
The bond, I shouldn't have to give the bond. The bond goes straight to the clerk. The declaratory
Anything you
judgment-
file that you want me to consider, you have to provide a copy to the state, sir. As you're representing yourself, you have to know those rules. If you don't, you're going to mess
I
up.
understand that.
If you're not providing to the state, I'm not going to consider it.
Okay.
And the clerk doesn't make any determinations on that. All the clerk determines is whether you're indigent or not.
I'm not talking about the bond for the declaratory judgment. I'm talking about the bond for the clerk to release me today. I filed my eligible obligation.
What are
with
you
the clerk.
talking about?
Sir,
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about eligible obligation on
What?
the USCA.
Oh, you talking all that kind of stuff. I'm striking all that. And if I hear it again, I'm not gonna let you represent yourself. I promise you. I mean, he's already entered a not guilty plea. We'll set this for a pre-trial. We'll set it for a, don't ask me any questions like that, sir. I'm not answering any questions. If you want to file a motion, file your motion. We'll set it for our December, when's that motion day in December?
December 19th.
December 19th at 9 o'clock. Sir, you may, if you're going to do the sovereign citizen, all that, you may want to consider having the attorney.
I'm a private citizen, sir. I'm not a sovereign citizen. I'm a private citizen.
Listen to
I'm a
me. If
United
you're
States
going,
national.
if you're going to pursue that, you may want to reconsider representing yourself.
No, sir.
But I'm not going to pay attention to any of that, and I'm going to strike all that. So
Okay.
we'll see you
No
December
problem.
19th at 9 o'clock.
It's no problem.
That's
Oh,
enough. I don't want to hear another word.
okay. I'd like to also.
Another one, I don't want to hear another word. No, put him out.
Put your hands on me like that.
Hush. Get him out of the courtroom. I don't want to hear another word. I just heard another word, Mr. Baker. Hush. Whoa. Mr. Baker, I'm going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you. I'm going to find that you're not competent to represent yourself at this time. I'm going to reverse my decision. The Office of Public Defender is going to represent him. We'll keep it on that December 19th date. I just did.
Don't talk to him. Court calls the case, People versus Thomas Styron.
I'm Styron, the living man. I'm here by special appearance to address this matter.
I'm sorry?
So I'm Thomas Styron, the living man, not Thomas Ulrich Styron, the entity you know me as, or as I'm in my own papers. I'm here to address the matter.
All right, thank you. Wish to be represented by an attorney, sir?
No, I'm here, Sir Garrison, appropriate persona.
All right. I do have to advise, so you're gonna represent, you need to stand in the middle of the podium where he's telling you to stand. Now. Now. Mr. Allen. If you don't want to cooperate and
I'm
handle
behind the
things,
podium.
he wanted you in the middle of the podium where you're supposed to be. If you don't want to be there, then say no. I'm telling you now to do it.
If you want me to stand closer to the mic, no problem.
Sir, you want to play a game with me?
No.
Not today. Mr. Allen, take him. We'll bring him back out when he wants to cooperate. Yeah, I need an interpreter for the last two and that one.
May I swear the interpreter?
Yes, is it for the last two cases?
Yes.
Yeah, that one will swear in.
I am Tariq Samaritari Kade, the executor of the Tariq Samaritari Kade Living Trust and the registered owner of the Tariq Samaritari Kade Ex Relatione Kingdom Wilson Estate.
Right. So you are appearing here without an attorney. I do have to advise you that you are charged with the offense of fleeing and eluding in the third degree under the Motor Vehicle Code. That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years incarceration and or $1,000 fine plus court costs. Additionally, the Secretary of State could suspend your driving privileges for up to a year. Do you understand that, sir?
I comprehend.
Do you understand?
I comprehend, yes.
The court has to further advise you that if you wish to be represented by counsel, the court would ensure that counsel would be appointed to represent you in this matter, and that you would have counsel if you could not afford to hire counsel yourself. I also wish to advise you that the court would be treating you the same as it would the people in this case. There are certain dangers to representing yourself in this matter, in that you will be required to abide by the Michigan court rules, the Michigan rules of evidence, and all of the cases and statutory requirements. You understand that?
I do not.
You do not. What is it about that that you do not understand?
It's against my religion to adhere or to assimilate to any statutory.
Sir, I'm not asking anything about your religion. It is irrelevant to me. I am indicating that in this proceeding, you will be required to abide by the rules of this court. Do you understand that?
I'm having a hard time understanding why or how religion doesn't play a role. If
How what?
how religion does not play a role.
Religion does not play a role in what I do or what this court does. There are certain rules of this court established by the legislature and the Michigan Supreme Court regarding how these particular proceedings will be conducted. These proceedings will be conducted in accord with those rules. Do you understand that, sir?
Well, according to the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, as well as the international or the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, the state and the governments should.
Sir, you have no authority for what you're about to state because what you're about to state is incorrect.
Oh, I am an Indigenous person.
No.
So I do have.
Sir, what you're about to state is incorrect.
Well,
If you were on indigenous lands, if that's where you're going, then maybe you might be right. As it stands right now, this proceeding is not on indigenous land.
well, that's a matter of perspective, sir.
It is, and the only perspective that's going to matter on that is mine. We are not on indigenous lands subject to indigenous or tribal rules.
Is there
You
a
are
law?
subject to the rules of the Michigan Supreme Court as they are promulgated, both in terms of procedure and evidence. Do you understand that that's what's happening, sir?
I do not.
What is it that you do not understand?
I don't understand.
Because I'm going to tell you something, sir. If you are unable to establish or understand what I'm saying, and go through this with you again, I have to assume that there may be some reason why you don't understand. This court will take precautions to protect your rights, and I will be sending you for a competency evaluation to make sure that you are competent to stand trial and to stand in these proceedings.
Well, I would agree to a competency if the prosecution as well as the court and the officers agree to take a competency.
That's not the way it works. You don't get to make the rules.
I'm not.
I'm ordering a competency.
I'm not making.
Defendant is ordered for a forensic evaluation. I will set a competency hearing in this matter for July 25th, 2024. At what time? At 9 a.m. Now, sir, I'm going to ask you this
Yes, sir.
because it's going to depend on where you may be staying for a period of time. If they send you information as to when you have your forensic interview,
Yes, sir.
are you going to cooperate and attend that interview?
Under threat, duress, and coercion. Yes.
Pardon?
Under threat, duress, and coercion. Yes.
No. It's not how it works.
I don't.
I'm asking you, are you voluntarily going to cooperate?
I say yes.
Pardon?
I mean, under it, yeah. I mean, is this what are, excuse me, what are you relaying to in regard? What are you insinuating in regards to where I will stay for a time?
I'm going to make sure that we are going to have our forensic interview done. I've ordered a forensic interview. I am asking you whether or not, when given notice of that interview, whether or not you are going to voluntarily cooperate in that interview.
I will take the interview.
Excuse me?
I will take the interview.
Anything from the people?
With the court, ask the people to prepare the order for the conferences.
Yes, please prepare the order for this. Is that your address, sir?
Excuse me? That's correct.
All right, very good.
And so I will send a copy to that address.
Very good. All right. This time then bond is continued.
Yes, sir. And I'm sorry, can I get that date again, please, sir? If I can put it in my calendar.
July 25th, you were supposed to, so I'm assuming you're waiving it. You were supposed to file your motion with.
I
the
did,
court.
I filed it.
When did you file it?
I brought it in today.
Do we have it?
I gave it, I mean, it was stamped and everything. I gave it to the reception.
Why didn't you file it before today?
Well, as I stated at the last hearing,
No, don't go through what you
additional week.
stated at the last hearing.
Well, you
You
asked,
knew that, no, you knew it was supposed to be filed before the day. Young man, you're gonna
That's it.
figure out something. We're playing by my rules, not yours. So you know, do not say anything because you're gonna figure that out real soon. Do they have it?
I have not received a response yet.
Since I'm sending in for competency, I can't hear that. I can't hear his motion in any event. So I won't hear his motion at this time. He'll have to refile it timely if he's determined to be competent. So I'll have his bond continue. He can go. What?
I didn't get the last part that you said. The bond continued and what?
I said you can go.
Oh, okay, no problem.
All right, and that brings us to Mr. Johnson.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. We are on the record in 2024 TR 541, State of Kansas versus Danny Lewis Johnson. County Attorney Jill Gillette for the state, Mr. Johnson appearing in person and in custody and pro se. Now, Mr. Johnson, I just saw you, I believe, last week, and I order that you be held for a limited time for contempt of court. And then I understand the military put a hold on you. They were having some problems with you cooperating with picture and prints. Are we past that? Did you get your picture and prints taken?
I did not, ma'am,
Why did you not do that?
because I didn't feel like it was, I was here for a criminal offense and there was no jurisdiction for me to get fingerprints and photo, ma'am.
All right, well, you understand that you need to do that. You're probably not going to get released until you do that.
Okay.
But in any event, you're also here today on a new case, and this is 2024 TR 541. You're charged in count 1 with operating a vehicle while displaying an expired or improper license plate on August 13th of 2024. So apparently before you went into custody, the officer saw you driving, and they may even have that on video if you did it around the courthouse. But in any event, that is a misdemeanor. It's called an unclassified misdemeanor. It carries a fine up to $2,500. It carries a sentence of 30 days up to 6 months. Then in count 2, they're saying that you hadn't registered the car, so you were driving without a legal registration. That also is an unclassified misdemeanor is charged. Another $2,500 possible fine and another possible 30 days to 6 months in jail. Now, Mr. Johnson, I can give you a bond on this, but it looks like you want to just keep sitting there because you can't make bond if you won't.
Your Honor, it is my intent. First of all, I'm not here to frustrate or to disrupt your court or to make anything. Just simply understand. That's all I want to understand. as far as the plea, as far as the charge of misdemeanor, I'm trying to understand if that's a criminal or civil offense, but I don't want to get into that today. So it is my regard to ask you, Your Honor, and request in regard to the Eighth Amendment that Greenwood Court discharge or administrate a fair fine according to the historical data or registration violation in this county. That's all I ask for now. At this point, I don't want to get into whether it's criminal or whether it's whatever. But according to the Eighth Amendment, I just want a fair fine, as if anybody who was driving the vehicle, given I was not driving my vehicle, of course, you held me in contempt. They brought me up and arrested me in contempt. So I don't know how they got me for operating a vehicle.
Well, they apparently saw you do it on your way into court.
Well, that's what I'm not. What I'm saying is it's a burden of proof on the state for that.
Right.
I'm not going to say they saw me. I don't know what they saw, but far as I can notice, when you held me in contempt, they went out and searched my car, which was a violation of my Fourth Amendment right. They never issued me a search warrant. They never told me my vehicle was suspected in a crime investigation or any kind of criminal intent or doing anything. So my car was searched.
Okay.
So when they searched my car, I have multiple witnesses that saw it. When they searched my car, they pulled everything out of my car. And I guess when they didn't find it, then the violation comes. I would never issue a citation for the violation. I was just put on lockdown for the last 7 days.
Well, I think as I understand it, you were put on lockdown because you wouldn't go through booking and processing. They couldn't get you entered into their system.
No,
you refused to get your fingerprints and you refused to get your photograph. And rather than manhandle you and wrestle you and get you to take your pictures and prints, they had to just put you somewhere safe until you would cooperate. But that wasn't what I've heard. I don't know that for a fact.
Well, if you look at the video, that is inaccurate. When I came in, I was told I was going to be.
Okay, sir. We'll talk about that just a little bit. Do you need an attorney to represent you on these charges?
I do not. I just want to, like I asked, I'm just requesting that in regards to the Eighth Amendment, the Greenwood Court discharge.
Well, that is not going to be addressed today. Today, I need to know if you want an attorney. You're waiving your right to an attorney. You don't want to hire an attorney. You don't want to apply for court appointed?
So what are the fines, Your Honor?
Well, as I said, each one of these counts carries a maximum possible fine up to $2,500.
Okay.
And each one of them carries a possible jail sentence of 30 days to 6 months, although probation is often an option.
Well, I would rather for you to just issue me a fine today. If you issue me a fine, I'll pay the fine.
Well, I cannot guarantee you what your sentence will be. That would be inappropriate to try to give you to negotiate with you and give you a fine before or if you're convicted. Now, maybe if you waived your right to counsel and you wanted to proceed today, I don't know if Ms. Gillette would tell you what her recommendations would be. I'm not bound as a judge to follow the recommendations, but again, typically I do, but I don't have to. Or you can get an attorney that can represent your rights and can help you file these motions or help you weigh your defense and decide how you want to proceed.
Well, all I'm asking, Your Honor, if you get pulled over and you get a speeding ticket.
No, we're not going to do that, sir. I just need
all I want to know is the fine. Like normally when you get a ticket or a citation, somebody give you.
I've told you that. I've told you that.
Okay.
So which way do you want to go on that? Do you want an attorney or not?
I do not.
Okay. Do you want to sign a written waiver of attorney?
No, I do not.
All right. But for the record, you do not want an attorney.
I do not.
And no one's making you give up your right to an attorney?
No.
And you understand that you could apply for court appointed if you cannot afford an attorney?
I do not want an attorney. I understand. I do not want an attorney.
All right, I will show on the record, both in the docket note and journal entries, that you do not want an attorney. You've given up any right to an attorney. You intend to represent yourself on these charges, is that right?
Possibly, yes.
And you were here last week on speeding 82 and a 65 and no insurance. Are you waiving your right to an attorney on those charges in 2024 TR 22 as well?
No, I'll answer that when I go to court on the 27th. I think you scheduled a court hearing for the 27th.
I did, and I am going to set this case today on the 27th at 9 a.m. as well. So both cases will be set September 27th, 2024 at 9 a.m. You've waived your right to attorney, at least on this case. I'd have to review the record to see if you did last week or not. But like you said, we can revisit that at your next court date. Ms. Gillette, in all of that confusion last week, did we set a bond in the other case? You can check those. If you don't have that handy, I can check the record.
Judge, he
Yeah,
had a warrant for failure to appear for $1,000 cash surety. So he actually had
I paid the $1,000.
Sure.
a cash of $1,000. It is a cash bond that the court is holding of $1,000.
All right. Okay. So that charge, you're free to go anytime you want to, as long as you go through the booking process. You've already, I would consider, even though the jail doesn't show you as being processed because you refuse to cooperate with the processing, which means fingerprints, pictures, signing a bond, I would consider you having satisfied your contempt. I think you've served enough time, far more than I intended for you to. It's been a week now, but you're going to have to go through the booking process. And then I don't know what the military's intention is, but I understand, is it your understanding they have a hold on you, sir?
They always put a hold on, everything. Anytime a soldier get picked up, they put a hold for pickup.
Okay. So, and I don't know if they'll go along with, I don't know if it's a game you're playing or what you're doing, where you think that you won't have to respond if you won't be booked, but at some point.
Oh, I'll be here, Your Honor. I mean, even for the 13, I had to let my command know that I had a court hearing, and I showed up. I'm not a person that want to run from the law. I ain't got time to be running. I face whatever before me, and that's just who I am.
All right.
So I have no. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
I have no intent of trying to hide from this challenge, because all it is a challenge. You know,
Sure.
I didn't see it going to this extent as being registration violation. If you're gonna give me a registration violation, give me a fine, then I pay the fine, and I'm okay with that. And I had to deal with that from a different aspect. But at the same time, it's just like they gave me a fine for speeding. You gave me a fine to pay, I was gonna pay the fine and just let it be. But at the same time, it's like, okay, now I got a registration with violation. Give me the fine. Give me the fine. I pay the fine. The military picked me up. I deal with that. They don't tow my car. So I really need to get out of here, Detroit, because if I don't get out of here, they're gonna sell my car.
Well, you go and get your picture and prints taken, sign your new bond, and you can go on my counts, on my charges. Now, I don't know, you're still gonna have to deal with.
Well, I know if you release me, the military are gonna pick me up. I understand that.
And are you not wanting to be picked up? Is that why you're refusing?
No. That's the only way I'm gonna get out of here.
All right.
No, I'm not running for nobody.
All right, then you get in there and let that officer get your picture and prints taken. I'm gonna order that you do that, and if you don't, then we're gonna have to do more.
If you saying I could leave, fingerprint, and that's what I asked them last week. Would I be able to leave if I give y'all fingerprints and photos? They told me no.
Because I think because you've got that military hold.
And I was fine with that, but I was asking about that, Your Honor. I'm not trying to drag this along, but I asked them about that. Is the military going to be allowed to come pick me up? And they told me, no, I won't be able to leave until I come before you. So
You do
I
need to
wait.
take care of your charges here before you go. That is
Okay.
true. All right.
I will allow them to fingerprint me and take a photo. And if you saying I
On
could
both
be
cases.
released,
On both cases. Well, you've served your contempt, and that's what I sent you into jail for. Now I'll give you a bond, and you're going to have to post the bond in the new case. Ms. Gillette, any recommendations on that bond? 2 counts of registration.
Judge, they're both unclassified misdemeanors. He's also got some other potential charges for the disruption in court that I am reviewing. And that's the other issue that I've got.
Okay, so there may be another issue, Mr. Johnson, but I'm going to set it at a $500 bond. You can either post cash or work with a bondsman.
I got cash. If I could put it on my card, I got cash.
All right, I don't know what the rules and procedures are, but $500 cash bond, it's 2 counts of registration. I think that's appropriate. And then if you make those 2 bonds and there aren't any other charges against you through Greenwood County, then I will see you in court on the 27th.
Well, man, how would what I don't want to happen is I go out here and post, and then all of a sudden there's another charge. Then I'm stuck here for another 7 days to see you. So I just want to give y'all what y'all need so I can get out of here and have my day in court. That's all I want.
Well, I think an attorney could help you immensely accomplish your goals, but you don't want an attorney to help you, so.
No.
All right. Well,
I just, like I said, I'm okay with doing the fingerprints, doing the photos, paying the $500 bond, and being released to the military.
Okay.
And I guess at that point, I'll see you again on the 27th.
All right. Yeah, I just don't want the military to take you away from me, though, and not let me get you back for a while. That wouldn't be any good, but that's what I told you.
They're not going to do
That's what I told
that.
you to, and that's what I'm sticking to. But now I can't tell you, if Ms. Gillette has a job to do, and if she has other violations and she charges them, I can't help that. I'll have to call you back in on new charges. But that's what I'm telling you right now concerning the 2 cases I've seen you on.
Okay.
All right. Anything further, Ms. Gillette?
Right now.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Johnson?
No, just want to get out of here and go handle my other affairs that I got.
Understood. All right. Thank you, sir. We're in recess.
Mr. Richard, are you able to activate your camera?
I can, but I'm moving stuff around at the same time.
Okay, well, we can
multitask.
Well, let's just go ahead. I don't know if you were listening in when we were talking about your case. As you know, we've been waiting for the doctors to talk with you to see whether or not you're able to go forward on this matter. And there is now a date set for your interview.
I don't understand. What am I meeting with a doctor for?
They need to ascertain whether you can understand the nature of the charges and whether you're able to assist your attorneys. It's a 2-prong test. So that's what we've been waiting for.
I understand the nature. I'm trying to figure out the cause. You guys never tell me.
Figure out what?
I understand the nature of this case. I'm trying to figure out the cause of this case. Like, what are we here for?
Well, you've been charged with the criminal offense of driving while your license is suspended in the 3rd degree and operating a vehicle without the required ignition interlock device. Those are the charges.
I've never had a license for you to suspend.
So, sir, please stop talking about the facts of the case. This is your attorney.
Who?
This is Sean Parent, one of your attorneys, so please don't talk about the facts of the case.
Well, I'm not denying any of the facts. I'm just letting you know I'm letting you know what I understand is what I'm saying. She asked me if I understand, and I'm trying to answer the question. I'm letting her know what I understand, and I'm trying to figure out what's making me, what are you trying to call it, incompetent? Is that what you're trying to say I am?
Yes, there's legal competency and it's two prongs, whether you can understand the nature of the charges and whether you're able to assist. So right now, there's a question about whether you are able to proceed, and that's why we're having the doctors talk to you. That's
Why
the
can't I just
current
ask the, why
status.
can't I just ask the judge? Like, what,
Well,
doesn't the judge know?
I am the judge, and I need those doctors to give me their opinion when they review your records and speak to you. And then we'll get a
Well,
report back. So right
Well,
now, you're
I never
finally
gave
being
my consent for
interviewed.
that. So I'm trying to get the answers from you. Like I'm in here talking to you.
And I'm
trying
telling
to-
you that you need to speak to these doctors on April 24th at 9 a.m.
And why do I need to talk to a doctor? I'm still not understanding. Like I'm trying to figure out why are we really here?
Because you're charged with the crime, and I need to make sure that you are legally competent to proceed in this matter.
What is the name of the crime?
I told you it's driving while license suspended, 3rd degree, and operating a vehicle without an ignition interlock device.
Is there any injured parties? Is there somebody willing to go on the stand and say that I actually committed a crime? Who has a claim against me? Like that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to settle the matter. I'm not arguing the facts. I'm just trying to take care of this and
And we cannot proceed while your ability to understand the nature of the charges and to assist your attorney is at issue. We cannot proceed.
We're
So
wasting
we are
time
in this
because I could
status.
just ask you. That's what I'm
And I'm
saying.
telling you right now, so the next hearing will be hopefully with a report in hand. You will have had your interview on April 24th at 9 a.m. Mr. Parent, you know where he would be going for that?
I'm not sure if it's going to be at the Shoreline Courthouse or down at our office in Kent, or possibly at the courthouse in Kent. Kind of depends on where he lives.
You have good contact with Mr. Richard?
Yeah, we have a good phone number for him.
Okay.
So we will be able to keep in touch with him.
Okay, so Mr. Richard, they're going to meet with you on the 24th.
How?
And would it take about a week or two, Mr. Parent?
Are
Do you
they
think
gonna
you can report
come
back?
meet somewhere or something? Like what are they about to do?
Let's have him return on May 6th.
Well, like I said, you don't have my consent.
Actually,
to
May
send
1.
me to
Let's
a
do May
doctor.
1.
So I don't know why you think I have to go see a doctor when I could just ask you all the questions that's stopping us from going forward. I told you I'm trying to settle the matter. I don't know what's going on.
Right. We keep trying to explain that to you, Mr. Richard. The reason is you're going to have to talk to these doctors and we'll get some additional information.
All right,
So
cool.
your
Okay,
next
well,
hearing will be
has there
on
been-
May 1st.
Has there been a guilty plea that has been put into record?
No, we can't do that because we have to determine whether or not you're able to proceed in this case.
So there is no plea that's been put in file.
There's a plea of not guilty that's been entered.
And who put that in?
You had a first appearance and you are unable to plead guilty. So a not guilty plea has been entered on your behalf and we are waiting to have the doctors talk to you. And
How
this has
can
been going
somebody-
on for quite some time, Mr. Richard.
How can somebody put a plea in for me? That makes no sense. Doesn't the attorney have to do what I ask them to do, or they're acting in dishonor if
Well,
they don't do what I tell them to do?
All of this confusion that's going on right now is many examples of why we need this evaluation to take place. So
No,
I
how?
need you, we're going to
Because I
end
have
your
questions
hearing,
for the judge?
Mr. Richard.
I have questions for the judge, and you're just saying that I'm incompetent. Like, why can't I get the answers from you? Do you not know your own laws?
I cannot go forward until I get a report from the doctors.
And why is there a doctor that needs to be involved in this? This is what do you say, a traffic matter?
Okay, I'm going to conclude this hearing. I believe that we need a report from the doctors based upon your answers, and this has been going on for
I just
quite
told you, like,
some
I'm not denying any of the facts. So why do we need to see a doctor? Can I just pay for can I just settle the fines that you have
It's
in
there's
this case?
a
Can I
criminal
just do that
charge
and
with
get this over
jail.
with? Huh?
All right, so
What'd you say?
it's a criminal charge with jail. It's not just paying a fine, Mr. Richard. So we are going to set this over. May 1st will be the next date you come back to court. And I will
Well-
ask that you follow through and attend that evaluation on April 24th.
You just
And
told me
that
this was
Mr.
criminals,
Parent
right?
is going to make sure you know where you need to go.
But you just told me this was criminal, right? So why can't I just settle the fines?
Because criminal is not about fines, it's about jail time as well. So.
And
that's-
why does somebody get jail time for something that they never had? I've never had a driver's license.
Mhm. Okay, so we are done with your case today, Mr. Richard. Thank you. We'll get that date out to you.
Well, you don't have my consent, so like I said, I don't know what you think I'm.
All right.
I have not been able to get Mr. Fabian to join the breakout room, but it's a motion to continue.
Your Honor, I would like for this case to be over today. I would like to be found innocent.
I can't do that. This is not a fact-finding hearing. There's no jury here.
Oh, I'm innocent of loitering. The charge is loitering,
I
correct?
understand that you believe that. There is no jury here. There are no witnesses here. I cannot just decide that you're innocent. I can't do that.
Oh,
That's-
well, the hearing is today, and this is the third continuance. And I was incarcerated twice, time served. Entrapment ploys from informants have ended up in complete ruin, and your tactics have been in an illegal fashion, everything from theft to slander. I believe that threats would qualify as slander. So, Your Honor, all this for loitering, and I haven't loitered at all.
Mr. Fabian?
What else do you want? You want to entrap me? You want to keep pushing things and I stay in Georgia? You want me to keep coming out here?
Mr. Fabian, I've told you repeatedly, you do not need to come back to the state of Washington. Every single person on this Zoom call has managed to get on. It is perfectly possible for you to log on from another state. You have to do it at the right time and account for the time change.
This is the date that was allotted to me by your court, Your Honor. By your court. This is the date that was allotted by your court, Your Honor.
I totally, no, I agree, but my point is you did not need to come to the state of Washington. You could have logged on.
Your Honor, when your phone numbers don't work,
But
and you keep pushing back a loitering case, Your Honor, if I may, go ahead, if I may.
Fabian, we worked this out last time that you were trying to log on at the Atlanta time.
Your Honor, go ahead. I would like to speak because this has been pushed back enough. Your Honor, if your numbers don't work, then I find this to be childish and petty. It is only loitering, and I wasn't loitering at all. I find this to be an entrapment ploy. Your Honor, I'm innocent of any crime. I haven't committed any crime here in the state of Washington. And Your Honor, I can fly anywhere I want to in the United States of America. As a matter of fact, the world. Your Honor, I fly here because I don't like playing games. Your Honor, this is an open and shut case. Everyone knows that I haven't committed a crime. Everyone knows that I'm not a loiterer. Your Honor, what more do you want?
I'd like to hear from the parties. My recollection is this is pending an out of custody 1077 evaluation. Is that right?
I can't hear you, Your Honor. A what?
It's pending an out of custody 1077 evaluation.
Out of custody? What is that? I mean, Your Honor, Your Honor, I believe
Mr. Fabian,
competency. You cannot file for competency. I'm not a minor, Your Honor.
I'm talking to your attorney right now.
I don't have an attorney, Your Honor.
You do have an attorney.
I'm representing myself, Your Honor, because I wasn't loitering.
Your Honor, that's correct as far as the 1077 evaluation.
Okay. Do you have any updates on when that's going to take place and whether that can take place if he doesn't live in Washington?
Seeing that Mr. Fabian has been getting back to Washington, if assuming when the date comes up and he's present, we can have it done, but I don't have a date for him yet.
Okay. Mr. Mercer, any objection to setting this over to April 1st at 1:15?
No. I object, Your Honor. I don't consent to. I don't consent to a competency hearing, Your Honor. This is all about competency, is it not?
So I'm granting the request for continuance for that evaluation to take place.
Is this about competency, Your Honor, or loitering?
There are two separate issues. One is the actual charge. One is whether you're able to stand trial.
Competency, Your Honor. So you want me evaluated? You want to implement? You would like to implement entrapment ploys, Your Honor, because I'm innocent of loitering, and we can resolve this today on a third or on a fourth continuance. I was arrested twice. That's time served, Your Honor. I should go free.
It doesn't quite work that way, which says to me that the evaluation is appropriate.
In a court of law, Your Honor, informants stealing your informants here in SeaTac, Washington. SeaTac, Washington is not Seattle. Your informants here in SeaTac, Washington, stealing my belongings and mailing my belongings back. I have the receipt, Your Honor. And
Mr.
also
Mr. Fabian, there's
sending my belongings back to where I purchased them, which would be where I was stationed, Fort Lewis, Your Honor.
there's nothing.
Remind you, Your Honor, I'm a United States Army veteran, Your Honor. In addition to an individual who has been slandered, Your Honor, I find this highly improbable, and I move to have this case thrown out immediately.
I have no legal basis to do that. That's denied.
You are the leading. You preside over this case, Your Honor. There is no reason to hold competency, Your Honor. I am not represented by your clerk or by your public defender's office. Your Honor, I am self-represented. Your Honor, I find this unconstitutional, Your Honor.
Can you mute Mr. Fabian, please?
Mute.
Okay, Mr. Fabian, you are represented by an attorney.
I am not represented.
No, Mr. Fabian, you will not argue with me. I am not removing him from your case because I have concerns about your ability to proceed and to make
Your Honor, your
next hearing will be on April 1st at 1:15 in the afternoon over Zoom, which you are welcome to log on to from another state, just like everybody in this hearing.
I'll fly.
Please go to the clerk's
This smells fishy.
pick up a copy of the order.
I'll fly back here, Your Honor.
That's a choice that you're making, and don't blame the court for that.
Hey, man. Hey, anybody that would like to try to entrap me, Your Honor, if you would like to send other informant to the airport to try to, and other people and invites for other people to become informants at the airport, if you like informants to implement entrapment ploys, Your Honor, then okay. Okay, Your Honor. It doesn't matter to me, Your Honor.
Fabian. Your hearing's over, sir.
All right. So, Your Honor, can I have your clerk write down?
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Judge, additionally, I'm sorry, Mr. Taylor was trying to tell me this earlier. Mr. Lamech Thomas had an announcement to the court.
Yes, I would like that announcement. I was going to ask. Go ahead.
All right, so I won't be needing an attorney. I'll be representing myself as my trust. I'll be representing my trust. I wouldn't need an attorney.
Okay, what you mean by your trust?
I'm sorry?
What you mean by your trust?
My name is trademark copyright. Representing my trust when they have.
What does all that mean legally? Do you even understand what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am. No jurisdiction. I'm not under
No, ma'am. No, sir, Mr.
Jurisdiction.
Mr. Thomas, no. No. We got a president with 37 felonies, sir. He was under somebody's jurisdiction. So I don't know how you, a black man born in America, thinks that you got some stuff that's going to keep you from being under somebody's jurisdiction. All this, I done trademark my name and it's I'm not the true man, and it's the paper man, and all that foolishness, Mr. None of that works. None of that works. Y'all go on the internet and figure out some stuff that don't make a bit of sense, and then it hampers you because you think you know better than an attorney who's gone to school for 3 years and 4 years before that to go to college, and they figured out, and then they worked. Mr. Lynch has been an attorney. I've known him for 10 years now, at least, right, Mr. Lynch? So,
quite,
but you think
getting close.
you think you done gone online and found some stuff, and you the trust of the straw man of the sir. You don't even understand the American legal system and how it works, but you gonna make up your own stuff because somebody done told you that this works. Same person who told you it works, it don't work. Then what kills me is y'all do stuff like, oh, and under the UCC and the maritime, y'all start quoting stuff that doesn't mean anything. I had one guy in Atlanta tell me something was under maritime law. I was like, sir, we are not even near the ocean. Maritime law is for the ocean. It's the esoteric foolishness that y'all get because y'all have done your research. No professional. What you you over here talking about you the trust. Okay, imagine if you walked into a hospital and they told you you needed surgery and you said, oh, no, I'm the trust. I'm not the man. I'm gonna do my own surgery because I looked it up online.
I'm not the trust. I'm representing the trust.
No, Mister, you don't even know what that means. What I'm saying to you is professionals work for years to learn this, to be able to represent people. You wouldn't walk into a hospital if you had a stab wound or a gunshot wound and say, oh, no, the trust is going to take care of me. I'm going to do it myself because I did some research. I am so sick of y'all thinking that attorneys don't do anything. My mom is an attorney, and one of her clients said to her, well, all you really do is they're trying not to pay her. All you really do is talk. I can talk. Yeah, but do you know the right words in the right sequence and the right things to look up to make the talk you do make sense? No, you do not. So if you think you can replace a lawyer, go replace a doctor. Next time you get sick, go break an arm and go set it yourself. Go let the true man set it. Go do that. So if you don't want Mr. Taylor to represent you, that's fine. You are free to represent yourself. I will give you the Ferrata warning as soon as possible. But what I'm telling you is there are problems that come with that because you may be hampered by the fact of what you don't know. The second thing is, don't expect that if it goes wrong for you, that you can then say, oh, well, I didn't have good assistance of counsel, because you are your own counsel and you've chosen that. And so just be clear. The third thing, I'm not going to listen to all this esoteric foolishness that you spouting off that you barely don't know. I'm going to follow the law that I studied and I've practiced for over, we rolling up on 30 years now. And so no, we're not doing this trust stuff, the true man, the UCC. We're not doing none of that. So when you come before me, I'm doing the law that I know it to be. I'm going to follow the statutes, the Constitution, and the case law before me that is good law in the state of Georgia and the United States. I'm not playing your game. So let me know. I want you to be clear that this is how this is going to go. We clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So are you entering a not guilty plea and you intend to go to trial?
What are the charges? I wasn't read the charges when I came in here. I was skipped for some.
Yeah, actually you were, because you have traffic charges and then you have an obstruction charge. Case 2024CR02581, obstruction of an officer. That's the one where you've decided you do not want the assistance of an attorney. The next case is 2021CR04186, traffic violation, which is generally a red light violation. License driving on a suspended or revoked license, count 2. No license, count 3. One of those will merge, so you won't face both of those because of the merger doctrine. So either you would have, if you were convicted, you would face either the driving on suspended or revoked license or the no license, not both. But those are the charges that are currently pending for you.
Okay.
All right, you're entering a not guilty plea and you wish to have a trial?
And those are together, or are they two different charges? Are those two different charges, or that's one whole docket?
You have two different cases.
Right.
The traffic offenses are on the 2021 CR04186. The obstruction of an officer is on 2024 CR02581.
Okay, and what are the possible outcomes for these pleas?
Possible outcome is on a misdemeanor offense, if you're convicted, the maximum penalty could be up to 12 months in jail, a $5,000 fine, or both per offense. So for each of the offenses, but with merger doctrine, you would have 1, 2, 3 possible 12-month sentences.
And
those could be or fines. Those could be served concurrently, meaning at the same time, or consecutively, meaning that they would be one after the other. One ends, the other one would start.
All right, I did hear eligible for NOLO. I did hear that come about. So I'll see fit NOLO on the.
Okay, but Mr. Thomas, listen to me. If you're entering a plea of guilty or NOLO, we do a plea right now. If you're entering a plea of not guilty, that means you wish to have a trial at a later date. You can have a jury trial or a bench trial. If you want to do NOLO on your traffic offenses, that's fine. We can do that case now, and you can save the next case for a trial. But if you're entering a plea of NOLO and you want to do that on your traffic offenses, that's fine. We can do that now.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to enter NOLO traffic offenses and not guilty for the obstruction of officer. And by any chance, did that police report show up yet?
We're still pending on the police report, Your Honor.
Okay, so now that you're representing yourself, then you'll have to ask for the discovery and get that information through the Solicitor General's office. If you just write a note saying that you wish to have discovery on this case, then you drop that off at the office or mail it to them, and she'll give you all of the discovery so that you can be ready for trial. Okay?
So I go to the courthouse?
Yeah, you can do that. On the 3rd floor, the Solicitor General's office, and you want to give them a handwritten note. You don't have to type it up or nothing. You can handwrite it that says, I wish to have the discovery on case 2024 CR 02581. And then put your email address, your phone number, and your full address. And that way they can give it to you or tell you how best to get it.
Okay, and is there any way I could do that without showing up? Because I don't live anywhere like in that area.
You can contact the Solicitor General's office. So you would Google Clayton County Solicitor General, Charles Brooks. And if you call their office, they'll tell you who to contact to get that done.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Thomas, did you wish to do the traffic court now, the traffic offenses now?
I believe so, yes, ma'am.
All right, so raise your right hand for me.
I'm not in the jurisdiction of a courthouse, ma'am.
Okay, the law has changed, which under COVID, which allowed us to do hearings by video. So as long as you are on video with me in the virtual courtroom, you're under the jurisdiction and we can do the plea. Did you wish to continue?
No, ma'am, because I'm not under the jurisdiction. I'm in the video because I don't really know how to work this virtual courtroom setup yet. But if I need to exit video to further more speech that I'm not in a jurisdiction, I can exit the video, not the chat
Okay.
itself.
Are you entering a plea of not guilty for this offense also?
For which one?
For the traffic offenses?
No, man, that'll be a NOLO for.
No, we're not doing a NOLO. If you're not willing to do the NOLO by video, then we're not doing the plea right now. You've seen this. You've seen the people come from the jail calendar, and there was even one person in the courtroom. You've been here the whole time, so you've seen how this works. Like I said, I'm not playing your game. Either we do the plea the way everybody else has done it, or
This isn't a game. Like I don't even do court. Like I just happen to get stopped a few times in trucks that aren't mine, so I somehow get entangled with the police and the court system. But this isn't my field. But like I was saying, like it's definitely possible to do a NOLO. I'm just not under your jurisdiction. I'm representing my trust. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to. Like I do my research. I see laws. I see common laws.
all right, let's go back to the jail calendar. I'm not doing this today. My sinuses are bothering me.
Kirk Jensen here, who's unrepresented. Mr. Jensen, would you come up and have a seat? Josh, you kind of inherited this. Mr. Jensen was originally charged with traffic violations. The matter was set for a jury trial for August 16th, I believe it was. We had summoned jurors and we were ready to proceed. Earlier that week, I believe August 14th, Mr. Marvin filed a felony complaint based on the same set of facts. So the matter was set for a pre-exam conference. Mr. Jensen has made every court hearing. But he did express that he wants to represent himself. I offered to appoint counsel at each stage of the misdemeanor proceedings, and again, in this case. But he declined. So, Mr. Jensen, you still wish to represent yourself in this matter?
I wish to have this case completely dismissed.
Well, everybody feels that way. Everybody else who wants their case dismissed, raise your right hand. Yeah, that was unanimous. So that's not up to me. But the question is, I'm willing to appoint counsel for you, but you've represented to me at each stage you wish to represent yourself.
I do not wish to have any counsel.
All right. Well, then let's talk about where we are. Where's the complaint? The complaint alleges that on or about April 6th in Lockport Township, that you did obstruct justice by preferring a counterfeit U.S. passport and counterfeit international driver's license at the time of a lawful traffic stop, an attempt to avoid criminal liability for driving without a license. The way that is charged, it is a felony punishable by up to 5 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $10,000. The second count is possession of a reproduced, altered, counterfeit, or forged chauffeur's license. Operator's or chauffeur's license. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $2,000. Count 3 alleges that you had no valid operator's license, plain old no ops. They're also charged with a civil infraction of no proof of insurance.
And I object to those. I object to that being labeled as counterfeit on all of those documents.
All right. Mr. O'Bear, do you have any instructions here or a plea offer? Or?
So the offer would be if the defendant wanted to plead to count 3, operating with no license. It's the 90-day misdemeanor. We would recommend fines and costs.
I object to that, and I will not consent to that either.
All right, let me unpack that a little bit. All right, you're charged with a felony, and you're charged with possession of a false or forged counterfeit license. You're also charged with no proof of insurance. The prosecutor would dismiss all of those charges if you plead to no valid operator's license with a fine and cost. You may be the first person in my 21-year career that objects to having all the felony charges dismissed for a plea to a $200 fine. Nonetheless, you object.
I object to the fact that it's been labeled as counterfeit.
All right, well, they're just willing to dismiss that charge. The allegation in count 3 is that you are operating a vehicle on a public roadway without having a valid license, sometimes called no ops or no valid operator's license. It's under 257301 of the Michigan Traffic Code. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. It carries 2 points and it goes on your driving record. If you plead guilty to that charge, I'm going to fine you $225. I'm going to give you time to pay it, and the matter will be done. If you don't wish to plead to that, we're going to have a preliminary examination next Wednesday, where the prosecutor will attempt to bind you over to circuit court on felony charges and continue the matter for a felony conviction with potential prison sentence. So his offer is to just be done with all of it for a plea to no valid operators. That's, I frankly was kind of surprised by the generous offer, but that's what it is. So our options are to plead to having no valid operator's license. You can even plead no contest. You can plead no contest You don't admit what happened, but you also don't deny what happened. You allow or accept that a conviction will enter. You and I have a fundamental disagreement about what it means to operate a vehicle or what it means to travel. But if you want this matter to be over with, you can enter a no contest plea to no valid operator's license. If you want to reap the whirlwind, we can have a preliminary examination next Tuesday afternoon regarding the matter. What would you like to do, Mr. Jensen?
I don't accept any of that.
All right, the matter will be set for prelim.
And just to make it clear, this would be the third time that a charge of no operator's license has been levied against me, and I'm standing against it because those documents are valid, and I object to them being labeled as
We'll
counterfeit.
find out next week. So that will be Tuesday, September 5th at 1 p.m. Prelim. All right, your bond is continued. You're free to go.
And just a reminder of the civil case that is ongoing, and those who are named in that, yourself and Mr. Marvin as well. Just to make sure that
Which civil case is that?
civil case, the notices, and all the recusals and everything that's been filed into this case that I've been filing in. Just to make note of that it is, on the record.
Well, let's take a look. Oh, you filed a August 28th, which is yesterday. I got this. I didn't see it. Objection to the report and recommendation in the matter of civil case. You filed this in federal court?
This was done in a federal court, has a federal case number on it, and all the defendants are listed.
All right.
Along with the notice.
Oh, it's great pleadings. It cites Abraham and the Book of Nations and a bunch of other jabberwocky. But it has been filed in the federal court. All right, that's all a matter of record. It's in the file. And you've even got Hebrew letters in here. Okay, I'll see you next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Yes? Yes?
I'm Mr. Jensen's transportation.
Yes.
And on the 5th, my wife has chemo, and I have to take her to that. Is there a way that we can put it off to the following week? If that's all right with Mr. Jensen?
That would dump the matter on Judge Pattison, which I'm sure he would greatly dislike. So I'm sorry, but we'll leave it for that date.
It would be the 6th, that would work.
I'm open to any date at this point.
We schedule things at certain times and everything affects everything else. So no, it's next Tuesday. You could be done with this for $225. And so we'll be next Tuesday, sworn testimony in court regarding this matter. You wish to not have counsel, and we'll continue that. I'll make further record. At this point, I'm declining to recuse myself. This is just a straightforward matter. All right, next Tuesday, 1 o'clock. You can make your way here somehow. Do you need a bus pass? I'll give you that. All right, you're free to go.